Thank you so much for catching up with me. It's really great to speak to someone who's doing something that's of real interest to my clients and people that follow me. And I came across reTHREAD on Instagram when you were Green Merchant. So it's really great to speak to you and actually see the person behind the organisation that I've actually tried out for myself. I'd love to find out like kind of a bit about your background, Oli, first of all. Like, how did you get into this?
So for the first 5 years of my career post uni, I was actually working in a rather turgid banking role. I was an analyst for one of the larger investment banks, looking at stocks and shares, and I became really interested in one area, which was the circular economy companies and the whole concept of getting value out of things we no longer use or are just waste. I mean, but often just underutilized. So my interest in that grew while I was working there, and then rather unsurprisingly, that banking lifestyle rather ground me down, and I started to take a lot of time to think about what I wanted maybe to do differently. And I loved this concept, wanted a change of direction, and something began to come together in my head of an area which seemed a little bit underserviced, which was the trying to tackle the difficulty of selling things online. It's, it can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to do all the little jobs you need to do to sell things online, whether that's inspecting items, describing them, checking the condition, proper photographs, pricing research, all the shipping, buyer correspondence. And just I did a bit of research, and the constant feedback was that the main thing stopping people from reselling their goods to get money from them and also to give them a new lease of life was this hassle. So I sort of set about trying to come up with a system or a business that could deliver those services to make it hassle-free and do it in a way which is efficient, and such we can make a business out of it. So that's the story of how we got here. It was initially all goods, all household goods, and then during the coronavirus lockdown, I streamlined that again to just make it clothing specific, because it became clear to me that that was where the biggest opportunity was.
Yeah. Wow, I love the idea that you started from kind of understanding the circular market, and I think it's becoming really popular, isn't it? This idea that we have all these things that maybe we don't use or we don't enjoy anymore, but it feels wasteful to kind of bin them, or and we're not sure really what to do with them, and it's lots of effort, as you said. I must confess, I still have things that I want to sell that I haven't taken photos of yet, because it feels like that's a job that needs doing that you'll get round to.
Oh, absolutely. And it seems such a small hurdle to unlock such a big opportunity. If people just sit on their items for so long just because they can't carve out that few hours here or there just to do the job to sell them. So I get a real kick out of getting something which otherwise be lying underutilized, get that used again, and then you get feedback from the buyers which are like, oh, I love this dress, it's amazing, worn it out today, and the person who sold it, they hadn't used it in 3 years and they've got 20 quid for it. The buyer's got something they really value, and it's there's definitely a feel-good aspect to what we do.
And it's lovely that you get that experience as well as the person that's selling gets that. I mean, I sold something with you that I haven't worn in a long time, and I was thinking, I don't know if it's going to sell at all, but I love that you give the option to either, I could have had that item back, or I could have chosen for you to donate it for me. And I thought, I'll tick this box because I don't know that anyone's going to want it. And do you know what? It's sold. and that's actually something that I wore at my wedding. So it makes
Okay.
it fills me with joy to know someone's actually going to use that.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, these are the types of
wardrobe.
stories I love hearing. It's yeah, for us, there's definitely, it's you know, we're obviously here to make a career out of it. We see an opportunity for everyone to get value out of it, but you know, this is more than just, well, as in my previous job, just typing numbers into a spreadsheet, going home, collecting your paycheck. You definitely feel like you're part of a positive movement, and that being the circular economy, and trying to push the word out there. Like you said, a lot more people are getting to know that concept, and yeah, no, we definitely feel good about where we are.
Yeah, and I think what you do as well is you make that option more accessible, because there are people that, you know, for whatever reason don't get on with the technology, don't have the confidence of the technology, you know, so you do all that kind of setting it up on the system, putting it out there for sale, dealing with everything, and then providing a, you know, a payment of whatever the profits are at the end. And even if it's not massive, you know, for me, that item was out there being enjoyed by somebody, so that was really dead easy for me, and you know, a nice experience too, and very easy.
Yeah. I think you sort of touched on it. It's you know, I think our perfect, you know, the people who would enjoy using our service are the people with a lot of clothing, and what they want is the joy of clearing space. I mean, which is your domain, and the joy that can give you, doing something positive environmentally, and so reselling a wardrobe and displacing the need for manufacture of new fast fashion is a really big impact that you can make on an individual level. And the third part is earning a bit of extra spending cash. You know, you could use it to refresh your wardrobe, give to charity, or just a little bit of extra spending money. On the flip side, if you're concerned about every single penny that you make, then putting in the hours to do it yourself is something you might want to do. So I say that's who would really enjoy using the service.
Yeah. And how did you come about this idea of kind of making donation as an option for people? Because I know that when I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, what happens if you don't sell it? You know, is that whatever I'm sending to you going to end up kind of on landfill, or, you know, what's going to happen to it? Are you going to send it back to me and now I'm stuck with it again? I thought I'd, you know, freed myself of this item. So like, how did that come about?
The online and offline sort of bricks and mortar spheres for reselling secondhand clothes are very different in the way that they appeal to buyers. In the online sphere, it's very much driven by the brand name, and the appearance of certain keywords in your item. So, you know, if you've got a really strong brand name, it's a very on-trend pattern or color or material, people will be searching for that online, and that it will be easily discoverable, and those types of items will sell really well. On the flip side, if you have a beautiful item but it's either unbranded or a lesser known brand, it will really struggle online. And if you're sending items to us, the items which are well suited to online will sell through us, and then the items which aren't quite well suited to online selling, when we hand them to a bricks and mortar charity shop, they may actually stand a really good chance of selling the second time around in a different setting. So we often get people asking, are you actually just handing unsellable clothes to charity shops? We're actually providing them with pre-quality checked clothing, which actually may stand a really good chance of selling in a different setting. So we tried to tie in the way we handle garments with charities, and donations, because we don't really see ourselves as a substitute. So yeah, that's a little bit of background on how we approach that.
Yeah. So with charity shops, I know that, you know, they will actually move stock around, won't they, to those stores that have certain demand locally for particular types of items. So they are able to do that. Yeah. Okay. And with items that when you quality check, if they don't meet the standards, what do you do there?
So we do a couple of things. So our acceptable range of conditions is fairly wide. It's always as much as you try to automate these processes, when it comes down to things like condition, there's always an element of subjectivity.
Yeah.
And we would, I guess the sort of borderline is, would you be disappointed if you opened that parcel in the post and there was an issue with its condition, which meant that, I don't know, you had a sort of sinking feeling if you got sold it, and that's, you know, a couple of pulls, a very small hole here and there, some wrinkles, that's totally fine. People, you know, we can price that in, and a lot of people actually love buying that stuff because it's great value. So first of all, I would say our condition range is maybe slightly wider than you think, and then there's this sort of second condition range, which would again, I think, be suitable for selling through a bricks and mortar charity shop, because people are there in person and able to check the condition in front of them, which is something we can't do online. We have to be a bit more careful online, because if there's lots of comments to make on condition, that communication and transparency with the buyer isn't something we have online. So, but which can work in a bricks and mortar shop. So there's probably another batch of clothes which we will siphon off and to redirect to charity, which we think will be sellable there. And then, to be honest, once you've got below that condition line, we would then look to funnel that through the charity's recycling schemes, so then they get the recycling income for those fabrics.
Because many get money for rags, don't they?
They do indeed. And you know, further down the line, something we've been thinking about is maybe pooling these worse condition fabrics and maybe selling them into rag bags as such, which people can use to manufacture their own clothes, or there's a whole market for upcyclers out there, or just you know, you know, lockdown was great for people just doing their little side hustle upcycling projects at home. So, you know, the dream is to find a market for every condition of fabric we get. So hopefully we can make that happen in the coming months.
Oh, I love that. I love that, you know, the potential for everything that we buy is that it has another life of some kind. Because, you know, putting things into rags, we can do that locally in recycling centres. But often, you know, you find that it's an item that you feel like it has more life left in it, but maybe it doesn't, you know, it's got marks or stains or whatever, you know, holes and things. So it's not something you'd wear as it is, but it feels like it's still got more time to go. So I love that you've got this idea for the
exactly. Yeah, it's finding a home, finding the right home for each item.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. Okay, so I guess the other thing that I guess it would be good to talk about is some of the clients that I work with, you know, feel like it's, you know, we've got so much in our wardrobes, so much that, you know, we can't always use or wear, or don't want to use or wear anymore. But we intend to sell it, like you say, you know, kind of put everything in a spare room or leave it in the wardrobe intending to sell it. And, you know, we can do eBay, and there are so many other organizations that you can do it yourself. So how would my clients go about actually using your service? What would they have to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to touch on it at some point, just the sort of the absolute basics on how to use the service. So first step, get on the website and you'll see there a very quick and easy form you can use to order a selling kit, as we call it, and you just need to tell us where to send it and how many bags you need. Each bag, it's the sort of 1/2 meter by 1/2 meter, and you can probably fit the equivalent of 10 to 15 dresses in there. So tell us how many bags you want, where to send them, and a couple of other questions like how you would like unsold items to be treated, like we talked about earlier. We'll then pop that kit in the post for you. Should be with you in a few days, and in there will be your bags with prepaid return postage labels already attached. And you'll also have a selling guide, which we send out, which tells you about the types of brands and the condition you can include in the kits. And then you just declutter your wardrobe to the max, put it all in the bag, and then just drop them off at a Collect Plus store. You should, I think the stats are over 90% of the country has a Collect Plus drop-off point within a mile of them. So it shouldn't be far away. Just drop it off next time you head into shop. That'll make its way back to us. And then we do everything from there to the point you get paid. So we'll inspect it, do the listings, photograph it, price it, put it on our online stores, which is, we have a website store and an eBay shop, and we sell them over both stores simultaneously to try and boost your selling prospects. We give the items an initial period of 60 days to try and sell, at the end of which we'll send you a receipt with your successful sales and organize a payment into your preferred bank or PayPal account. And that's it, all done.
And so you deduct all the fees, like the eBay fees and the PayPal. I don't think they do that now, but the eBay fees, don't you? And then you also take a commission for doing all of that work. So the money that we receive then is the profit, what's left.
Yeah, exactly. See, I mean, we try to be super transparent on what we take. We basically set those. We define the commission in terms of the payout the customer gets. So i.e. the percentage you get of the sale proceeds after like third-party fees are taken. And we set those payout brackets based on, I mean, there's essentially a fixed cost to us in terms of processing the item. So the time it takes to do all those little jobs, and the higher the value item, the higher percentage we can afford to give you. The lower the value of the item, the lower percentage we can afford to give while still breaking even. So the payout brackets are, if the sale proceeds are less than £20, you get 40%. Between 20 and £50, it's 50%. Between 50 and 100, it's 60%. And for over £100, it's 70%. So depending on the value of the item, 40 to 70%.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. Thank you. Thanks for explaining that. It's, I know that some of this is on your website, but it's great to kind of talk it through as well.
No worries at all. I think it's important to let people know how we set those payouts, because it's literally we have a fixed cost per item in terms of the time our team takes to do all those little jobs, and the whole point of our business is we think that we can do them better and more efficiently than somebody just doing it at home by themselves. But there is little cost to each item we do that. So that's in reflective of the split of the revenues.
And hopefully you're creating an economy of scale as well, aren't you? Because you're in London, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a little warehouse unit in Tottenham in North London, and depending on how things are going, we may need to move again in the not too distant future. So yeah, absolutely right. It's a big scale game.
You accept donations from all over the UK, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. Postal from all UK addresses. That we just use the Collect Plus returns network, and it just works as if you were returning something to ASOS or Zara or anything like that.
Yeah. So in terms of the things that you sell on your website, because obviously you resell all of this, so on your website and on eBay you're selling the goods that people have sent to you. So I've had a little browse, and I think, you know, there are other sites as well, but you can search by brand, as you said before, and you can find things that you're looking for that are on trend, and order them. And obviously, you know, they arrive just like you're shopping online anywhere. But you know, the good thing is that it's something that is pre-loved, so you're doing your bit for the environment, and you know, for that item it's getting a second life, if you like.
We love finding new homes for your clothes, and you know, if there's anything you don't feel comfortable with, just ping us an email, we'll get back to you. You can have your clothes back if they don't sell. We're not going to take them from you. So I guess it's a word of mouth, and building that trust has been super important for us, and we're really seeing that coming through now.
Well, thanks so much for your time today. It's been really great to finally meet you. And
yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll let you go for your afternoon, and I'm sure we'll be in touch again. You take care.
Take care, Laura. See ya. Bye.
Bye, Ollie.